Magnus Swiftblade Torturer so far. Rhapsody Swiftblade, though, that is, you usually don't want to give up that combo of heroes nowadays, so...
Yeah, and I think the reason why we see Swiftblade so often nowadays is because like he's a very, very strong hero, but at the same time he's not strong enough to really ban because there's other more heroes that really need their attention. For example, like the Cthulhu, like the Revenant and the Ophelia, and that's why we sort of see them banned here in Search. We see the Revenant banned as well, and I think that did a lot of work. Seeing as it was a secondary support, it still had such a big impact, particularly obviously pairing with the Pebbles. But so that's going to be banned out here. For Dawn, though, I'd like to see some kind of a different carry here. Obviously, the Benston didn't do too well, even though he had an alright time. I didn't think it had the biggest of impact. So, obviously, Oogie's now on the board, Blood Hunter, and we'll have to see what kind of carry hero we'll see for Surtas.
Yep. Yeah, something tells me we're going to see something here in that third pick to make sure that it doesn't get banned, especially, I mean, kind of just simply for that comfort factor of anything. Because, again, so many things in that last game. Just sure, maybe the decision as far as the lanes didn't make the most sense, but, well, okay. I can't say I saw that one coming. I mean, Sir Bensington once again. So, again, didn't have the best game number 1 overall. But they're confident still that they can make it work just fine. So we'll probably say something tells me though it has to be more of a suicide Bensington though. Yeah,
I mean, I'd guess. I mean, as if Bensington did quite well, seeing as he was kind of 1v2. Like it's kind of like a suicide lane. Although he was in the short lane, he still did very good, seeing as it was a 1v2 lane. But even though he did have like an alright time, it just didn't feel like he had the biggest impact or the biggest effectiveness. I don't know what you think, but that's kind of the boat I'm leaning towards.
Who, Bensington?
Yeah, like he had all right time. He had like around 300 GPM in the laning phase, which is very, very good. But it just didn't feel like he had the biggest impact. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, throughout that game, I mean, and overall, I think honestly, with the way the game went, his impact was probably not too bad. I mean, his team overall just was getting snowballed again. So yeah, I mean, the Nightfall initiations were decent. He did miss a couple of jousts at times that didn't help things either. Sure, but. He has the potential to be a great starter for the team, an excellent initiator, of course, with his Nightfall ability. So, clearly, again, they like just because it didn't work out as well, in the first game, doesn't mean it can't work out. Okay, wow, they're going to run a short lane Sir Bensington, most likely again, with that Lodestone pickup.
Yeah, and I mentioned, obviously, the Lodestone pickup here that in Game 1, because they didn't have the strongest AoE potential, but here in Game 2, they do have a little bit more AoE potential with, for example, with the Torturer, Magnus, and Bensington. Followed up by the Doctor Repulsor and WOP, actually. And we've seen actually a lot more Doctor Repulsors more recently, it feels like, with varying success, actually, to be fair. Yeah. So we'll have to see how it works here. We've got 5 seconds left for WOP, and they pick up the Empath, actually. So the Empath Raps lane is very, very strong with the Swiftblade, but it don't look like they're going to just try and dodge it with the pickup on Tempest. And I think, honestly, this is the best way to beat a sort of Swiftblade Empath tri-lane, because unless you're so confident in beating that tri-lane, it's just best to try and dodge it. And obviously picking up the Tempest, you can just switch jungles and just try and win the game in that sense, and just sort of sacrifice the lane either to the Lodestone or to the Bensington against the tri-lane. And in that sense, obviously, put pressure onto the Doctor, Repulsor, or Kraken. And actually, the draft coming out from Dawn, actually, I do like it. They've got a little bit more AoE synergy with the Lodestone and the Tempest and the Magnus. And I'm looking, I think, they've got some good chances here in Game 2.
Yeah, it's definitely still surprising somewhat to see that Sir Bensington short lane once again. But they are very confident. I mean, that's just talking about sticking to your guns, man. And because again, the fact that he picked it up with his third pick, that wasn't even like a reaction to the bans once again. That was, what, I want this hero to work, and I'm going to make it work, kind of deal. I could just imagine that's what he's thinking right there. So, we'll see how it does work. You were talking about, though, Game 1, Lodestone, definitely a hero that Dawn is known to run, so they are going to do it here. Pork Nuts, of course, he's coming off that poor performance on the Drunken Master, unfortunately. So, looking forward to him making some big plays this time around to kind of redeem himself in that sense. So, okay, I was about to say that's an interesting stat. Have very few games played, obviously, so far. So, a new team as far as our stat recording goes. They were not in Incarnate Caldivar, and nor were they in Cycle 1 of Hunter. Of course, WOP Dash, they are coming in as the second place team out of the Gold Division in Cycle 1. So, that's why they were here. And again, we talked about it. They give a run for the money against Sync Esports in the game 2 that we jumped into. So I can't say I'm that surprised that they played pretty well there in game number 1.
Agreed.
And thus have a 1-0 lead so far. So
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, although they did lose to Zinc 2-0 in the end, I mean, just having the potential to almost scare, the top number one team, the number one team in Hon at the moment, is just a feat in itself. Because I mean, I could assure you that Zinc, when it gets into the 40-50 minute sort of stage of the game and going against WOP, they were a little bit scared. Obviously, like, if they drop a game to a team newly promoted in Diamond, that says something about the team of Zinc. So. Like you said before, WOP, a very, very strong team, and they're showing it here, at least in the first game in the series.
Yeah.
So.
Now, this is kind of interesting. I mean, I'm actually a huge fan of these kind of stats that Quincy puts out at the beginning of the games, especially the ones more so focused on the player-hero combinations. And, you see that right there, only 13 games as far as player-hero combinations. So that pretty much means that Don doesn't have the most experience, at least in the competitive scene in these tournament matches, specific players playing specific heroes, perhaps. So,
yeah.
Keeping that in mind, I think Labyrinth Magnus is probably one of the more popular ones in this case. But, not to say that's obviously, overall, it's not like two unorthodox heroes by any means. But, again, kind of worth noting there. But Sir Benzedin, it is back-to-back games in that sense, obviously.
Also, I mean, I do love having these stats as well. It adds almost like another level, another kind of feature to the game of Honor and competitive. Yeah. I do like to sort of see that. One thing I'd like to know, Quincy, do you have the win rates for Legion versus Hellborn? Because I know at the moment we still actually get teams varying. Yeah, like I think they still obviously they roll for who do they want to be, either Legion or Hellborn, and there is some varying. So it's quite close then. Legion is 51%, and I was wondering what it was because a lot of teams are varying their choice of would they prefer to be Legion, would they prefer to be Hellborn. Well, obviously Hellborn has probably the advantage in the sense of like the Conqueror advantage, but I think Legion definitely has the drafting advantage. So I guess it's like the personal opinion on the captain on each team. So.
Exactly. I mean, for the longest time, it seems like it was Hellborn because of the Hellborn advantage, and even with the banning pick mode that we had for. Or what was the blind ban? Or what was that mode called?
Lockpick.
Lockpick, that's what it was, yeah. The lockpick mode.
You don't know that, man.
That was so long ago, man.
I guess.
Yeah, speaking of that, I was actually watching, going through just old videos or whatever. It's Haunter Season 1, we used lockpick, and, going through some of those videos and realizing that's how the drafting used to work. Yeah, it's
so bad.
I thought about it, I was like, we used to do that? Yeah, I think the idea was fun, but, yeah, it definitely made for a lot of very, very, very similar lineups every single game.
It was just like... Because you would just pick all the junglers and be like, okay, I've got a jungler this game.
It was kind of silly.
Surprise.
But no more. I think our draft right now is actually very.
A lot better. We see a lot of variation as well.
Yeah.
I think that there is still potential for a few of the underused or underutilized heroes maybe to have a slight buff, but we'll have to see in the next balance patches to see what will happen there. But in the end, I do agree. Like the state of Honor is good in the sense we do see a lot of variation. But
yeah.
Anyway, the game is underway, so unpaused and actually look at something that's quite signature of Dawn. Actually, they've already picked up the Wind Courier and they're already scouting. We've seen, I think, actually in the Carnage. Oh no, in the qualifiers they used to do this quite a lot. It backfired a couple of games actually where actually their courier did get picked off by the enemy team, but still using the scouting potential. And it's these little features that honestly do make a big difference in the long run. So good to see it here as well.
Yeah, so interesting there. I mean, it kind of varies. Apparently, just in Han Tour matches, it's actually even slightly advantage for Hellborn. So, again, it's when you have a style like that, there's so many you would need a lot of matches. But yeah, Ben's in a lot of trouble. Oh man, the scouting courier apparently didn't scout good enough. The Joust is trying to get it off in time. I mean,
get in front.
Yeah, the angle's not the best. They're blocking him off completely. He's going to go in the trees and hope that they just stop chasing him, I guess, because they're not going to do that.
It's blocked off as well. Yeah, they have blocked off.
Gosh.
There's a little kind of wall or hill right above here that you can't actually see, but you can't actually get in. Yeah, it's actually blocked off, and obviously Benson can actually leap ahead of hills, but
man.
Yeah, they actually blocked him in the end.
Okay, yeah, no, I for sure thought he was dead. But
yeah,
he does
they obviously could catch him over here, but from where he was, they couldn't actually catch him up there because there's a little hill that not a lot of people know about. But yeah, it's a little leap or little hill or ledge. Obviously, Benson can joust above him, but in the end, yeah, he's going to survive.
He gets away. Well played, well played. Anyways, we do see. So speaking of that, though, they do send the Sir Bensington top. Even with what was initially an aggressive trial then, but actually the very quick rotation coming out from our Legion team. As, you see Dr. Pulsar's already down here at the bottom, so
It was late as well. He was very late. He's already missed like 2 creeps just because of that. Because obviously they're trying to get the Benson top lane, and he was late to the lane because of that. Obviously, he had to run all the way from the top lane, and you know the Benson was almost dying when the lanes even started. So Dr. Repulsor has missed out quite a lot, and obviously Lowson's got lane control as well because he pulled the lane. One thing to note is that I really do like to see this of Suicide players. Whenever you can see the enemy team going all as 5 into your own jungle, I'd love to see the Suicide pull the lane because obviously he knows he can get a free pull off. He's not in danger, and it can really help him in terms of the laning phase. And obviously he's going to be against dual supports down there, so having that good lane, the lane control is very, very important. So good play already coming out from Porknuts. Hopefully he'll have a lot better game in Game 2 than in Game 1.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, another pause coming out right here, but yeah, the Swiftblade Empath combination. I mean, it was one thing to see Swiftblade and Riftwalker, but Swiftblade and Rhapsody picked together. That was the first 2 picks, but yeah, even managing to get Empath in the later tier of picks on top of all that. So you got some great synergy coming out right there, and very, very deadly indeed. As once again, the stats definitely back that up. So yeah, we'll see what happens when this rotation fully does take place, but. For the time being, the movement still happening right here. So, get a quick glance at the other series once again, see if that's developed any much further. God, it seems like it's a very passive game. 40 minutes in, there's only 8 hero kills total. That was a classic Complexity TDM matchup right there. We do see a Gemini, though, played by Beaver Banger. Actually, oh wow, Beaver Banger playing Gemini. He plays that hero very well.
Signature hero.
Just hit me, yeah. He's 0-2-2, though, so really not doing the best as far as stat line goes in that sense, but there's a lot more stats to look at, of course, that we can't see just from simply monitoring the game.
Yeah, like 40 minutes, only 3 and 5, that's actually
well, I think we chose a good series to cast.
Yeah, definitely. And also one thing to note, though, is that the Ophelia actually, 40 minutes in, does scale very, very bad as well, whereas obviously Tempest has the opposite scaling effect, so that would definitely be a close game to watch, actually, though, to be fair. Even though it would have been boring to the start, at the late stages of the game, it would be very interesting to see how that pans out in the end. Because I think, actually, like you've got the 2 carries here on The Last of Us, but then obviously probably the superior team fight with the Tempest and Cthulhu, and only 1 carry there on Rexall, so yeah, close game to say the least, though.
We'll reconnect here, coming out from good old Leroy.
Leroy!
Jenkins. At least he's got the chicken. I'll probably throw that line out every once in a while. I believe I have already. Yeah, it's fun seeing a name like that. Classic gaming term. But, okay, back into the game. So, but do you think so? Is Swiftplay going to stay up here, you think? There's no reason for him not to, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and also offset, he can't really rotate mid because Kraken is a really bad suicide laner, and obviously you want to have the farm on your initiator, and he can do fine up here anyway. Like even if there is the potential to gank, he's only really in danger when Timbers gets level 6. Obviously, you can notify that or know that when that happens. So he should be fine until level 6 against his Benson, and he's a strong laner as well. So he's fine up here for the most part anyway.
Kraken Rhapsody versus the Magmus Torture here now. Torture Magmus, very strong combination, really. Of course, with the which kind of speaks for itself, the double stun potential, and definitely got some decent kill potential. More so on the Rhapsody. Now, Kraken, he obviously has a Tsunami charge and quite a bit beefier than his teammate there, so not going to be the ideal target to waste mana on. Top lane, Sir Bentington and Swiftblade are going at it a little bit, it looks like, but not really the most harm done in the end, so not that big of a deal. But obviously while these lanes are all happening, Tempest in a lane of his own in a sense in the jungle here does hit level 3 right there, but keep an eye on Iceland Go-Go. And obviously coming off the Parasite game last game, so definitely their go-to jungle player clearly as far as what he makes happen. Regen rune going to spawn top. Rhapsody was definitely hoping for, I'm sure, like a haste rune there, but wasn't the case. Yeah, we'll take the regen though. And head back towards the middle lane. Bottom rune refreshment picked up by Torture. No bottles just yet here in the middle lane. So not able to make use of that just yet. But is that still a ground courier? It is. Legion team still with that ground courier delivering the bottle. Always a little bit iffy seeing that. But I mean, for the time being, the supports don't have 200 gold just yet. So makes sense, I guess. Kraken taking some good damage, but no, he's going to be fine. Again, the double stun, not really enough.
Yeah, I mean, for this middle lane, though, I don't expect any kills to happen until maybe like level 4, level 5, because they just don't have the damage. And the only potential really for Hellborn to net a kill is a double lava surge, so it's got like a bit of prolonged fight here in the middle lane for them to actually get a first blood. And actually, there's quite a limited potential actually to have kills until maybe level 6 is for either lane actually, because I don't think Lodestone should really fall until level 6 on Doctor Repulsor, and I don't expect Swiftblade to fall until Tempest level 6 either. So for the most part, it's mainly just going to be trading, unless obviously a big play or a big misplay happens on either side. But until then, I expect to be nil-nil.
We've said that before, and all of a sudden it's like bloodlust. It's like,
blood.
well,
oh, top lane, top lane, top lane.
Yeah, well, that's it. Okay. That's right. You're saying that. Sir Bennington almost actually gets bloodlusted, and I almost missed it on camera, but I did not, so everything is just fine. As Sir Bennington does make the getaway, gets the health potion. Actually, speaking of bloodlust kill, Swiftblade actually might be the one in trouble all of a sudden. He has a spin. He's going to take some tower damage. That's going to hurt. Now the stun doesn't get off in time, and now it's Tempest in a little bit of trouble. Swiftblade's going all in. He wants the kill. He gets the kill first. He goes down right after, but he made the best of a bad situation right there. Getting the bloodlust. Tempest, oh man. He was just a little bit too late with that stun right there.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it, because obviously he got the bloodlust, and I think he was going to die anyway, so definitely the right play to make, and yeah, like you said, best of a bad situation. And now actually just 300 GPM, so he's actually higher than the Bennington. Most likely will even out when he gets back into the lane, but still, definitely a worthwhile trade. Tiltra is down here though. I don't know if he's going to try and pick off the Empath actually. Lowson is level 5 actually. He does so much burst damage with that head smash, so I mean Empath's got to be careful of herself. Actually, here comes the rotation from Torturer.
Yeah, they're going to collapse right on top of the Empath right here. Lowson and Torturer. The one stun comes out. The rocket control stun to follow the face smash. More than enough damage in the auto attack to get the kill in the end. So Porknuts picks up the kill, and that's got to be a good feeling, especially for him. Again, coming off that Drunken Master game, not the best time. Hey, picks up a kill here to start things off on Lodestone. And going to hopefully pick up some momentum with that. So, yeah, good collapse. So great rotation. You were talking about that coming after Torturer.
And also, this just goes back to, it just shows obviously like Porknuts isn't like a bad play. It just honestly went back to the bad laning phase and the bad sort of hero he had in game 1. Because obviously he's 1-0 now, 240 GPM, doing very, very well. And clearly shows obviously it just went back to the draft in game 1 really. That Dawn was having such an issue.
Swiftblade going back and forth with Sir Bennington here once again. He's kind of a little bit playing a little bit passive now. He has a ward of sight to see if Tempest would be coming over at least from this area right here. So, and but for the time being, Tempest is just going to continue to farm. So, not really any harm to be had for the Swiftblade up there at the top side. Middle lane again. Torture's back obviously, but Kraken and Magmus continue to go back and forth at it. 32-1 Kraken. You're looking at a 24-7 Magmus. So, Kraken, Pro-Dam there, having the better time so far. And Torture, though, missing for a little bit of that time. So it kind of was that 2 versus 1 there. Lowstone's level 6 now already, man. And going to pick up even a little bit more experience right here as he gets pushed all the way into the tower. So he's got that Shatterstorm of his. And again, this hero's kind of been popping back up a little bit. We've talked about this recently. And you kind of just wonder yourself why he even disappeared. Because his burst potential is pretty ridiculous. And yeah, as I say that, he's going to find Empath. Will he go for the kill? No. I mean, it's risky.
Level 6, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if he went for that kill, most likely he would have got the kill, but he would have died, and that would not have been a good trade, seeing as obviously he's only trading a support for a suicide, and obviously giving the Doctor a lot more farm. So, I mean, if we do see a gain coming up from him, it will most likely if he rotates mid instead of him just getting the solid kill on Empath. But Empath is definitely scared though. She's already rotating to the middle lane, trying not to get picked up by the Lodestone, and even trying to set up a gank here in the middle lane. So,
yeah,
perhaps there's a gank potential here on the Torturer.
Yep, you see the top rune. No rune's going to be there. Actually, already picked up, so never mind. Is heading towards the top lane, though, as you say that, and no ward's going to be able to spot him, actually. In fact, Swiftblade's running over to Tempest. Yeah, he doesn't realize that Torture is coming over, though, for the time being, and now here comes Sir Bennington. No, not going to go for it. Oof. I feel like there's a couple of opportunities here where it's just like, it's okay, I mean, I guess he probably would have reacted and it would have been a kill in the end, but they're not taking chances like they were in game number 1. A bit slower here as a result, as far as action goes. As you look at the GPM chart, though, it's kind of an interesting spread right there. The top 3 farmers on the Legion side looking pretty strong, and then it drops off of the supports, of course. And then you got Sir Bennington also up there at 300 plus GPM himself for the time being. So, I don't know, apparently another lag hiccup or something, but another pause coming out here. Yeah, I think I even felt that one a little bit. Just a little bit of, like, jitteriness.
I don't know.
Oh.
Your internet must just suck, doesn't it?
Everyone else's internet sucks. Learn to internet noobs. Oops.
USA internet, man. UK internet's just so sick, that's why.
Yeah.
Don't know. But yeah, I mean, Doctor's level 7 now, and I think for any rotation to happen, it's most likely going to be the Doctor Repulsor, because all the other heroes will need really a portal key to make something happen, whereas obviously he has his own mobility, seeing at his level 6. Maybe perhaps the Tempest rotation middle lane.
Middle lane, release the Kraken coming out, chain reaction, just a little bit too late. However, he gets a stun off, just Magnus. He's trying to run around with the wall off, completely cut off the path. And yes, he goes down exactly. A beautiful wall from Empath indeed. And it gave zero chance of a getaway for Magnus.
Yeah, he was fine about that, but yeah, if that wall wasn't there, I mean, that Magnus was definitely surviving. So great rotation actually come out from the Empath. And the gold lead's actually 0-0, but actually, bottom lane, Lodestone just picked up a haste actually, he might be in trouble.
Oh, he's going in actually, he throws out the face mash, the rocket drill is going to get the Shadow Storm off, boom, goes the dynamite, but it's not going to be a kill! He didn't use the haste rune actually. And, well, he got picked off in the process, too. So, yeah, you know, we're sitting here talking about, like, why aren't they going for a couple of these out? But that was one of those. So it's like, if he did fall back, if he just ran away right there, we would have been fine with that. But he did try to man up. And it didn't work out in the end, so.
Too manly for his own good.
Exactly. Well, the Legion team, I mean, granted they did have basically 4 heroes there collapsing on top of Lodestone. So, I mean, top lane, you got Sir Penzington has actually been able to just free farm for the time being because of all that action. But at the same time, you know, saying that is kind of like, wait a second, if there's a lot of action going on, why isn't he there involved? So.
Yep, it's true. I mean, he does have a TP, so I think if there is going to be like maybe a gank on the middle lane or bottom lane, I expect actually a rotation to come out from him, and even the Lodestone as well. So. Because he should be getting involved though. He's level 6, there's no need to farm anymore. I would like to see some kind of gank rotation actually from him. Particularly as Magnus is having such a bad time, he needs a good start. I need to top bottom lane. Yeah,
we do see bottom. Magnus stuns away in time. Lodestone coming in. No, Shadow Storm though. And he chooses not to rocket drill.
Where's the TP rotation from Benson? That's like a secure kill on the Doctor Repulse there. He's like no health, no mana, he's only getting defended by the 2 supports. I don't know, it just seems like Dawn aren't playing aggressive enough for their own sort of team fight. Maybe they're just scared of what happened in game 1, but you know, they need to sort of still play, you know, aggressive if they want to get these kills. That's bottom lane.
Yeah, we do see Lodestone again. Here is a port. Is that Sir Bensington? It looks like it's not. It's actually going to be canceled, whoever it was. As they're going to pour, they're just going to push in the top lane in the meantime. So no bottom action. They should be able to get a free tower kill up here. I mean, so that's the thing. It's like Syrtis has had to make this decision of, yes, he could go actually bottom lane. Magnus now in trouble. Are we going to see a port in yet? Yes, we finally are going to see a port in. Will it come in time? Magnus turns around with a stun. Here comes Sir Benson. No, he actually uses the Nightfall first. He's going right for Rhapsody there. He does pound down, and now Dr. Pulsar, that Tempest told him to lock him in place. And that should definitely secure the kill at the very least, maybe? Oh my gosh, is he actually going to escape? No. The Joust comes out and he gets the kill. And meanwhile, Kraken actually gets cut off. Shadowstar going to be activated by Lodestone. He stuns him with the rock. Is this going to be enough damage? Chain reactions? No, not going to be nearly enough as he charges away.
Oh man, the stun was like 0.5 seconds late because he like this is what happens when Kraken does use the charge. He can still be stunned, but obviously he still travels with the charge distance. So in the end, the stun was just a little bit too late, and obviously the Shatterstone did miss him in the end. So Kraken does survive in the end, and he's actually having quite a good time compared to the Magnus, such a middle lane. Yeah, Kraken, he's going to be cut out right here. He does Tsunami charge away. But will it be the distance he's looking for? Absolutely. That's been several times now. They've gone for kills on him, and he's just been able to charge away, and he's more than fine. Mystic Vestments, man, doing work with the Steam Boots and keeping him alive right here. So, I mean, overall, according to you look at those stats right there, definitely Dawn in favor of both of those. More importantly, the gold efficiency, especially, but it's slight, so not. The biggest steal in the world, but Sir Bensington actually picking up a life tube here. Interesting. So we're going to see a Nullstone, I would guess? I'll assume so, but even maybe mostly a Nullstone. Yeah, I wouldn't be a Rune Cleaver, so it has to be a Nullstone, but at the same time, like, it's just, why does he go in defensive when he's like not really the hard carry? Maybe he does feel he is the hard carry, but Like, he hasn't been really that aggressive. Like, he has got 2 kills under his belt, and there's only been 3 kills, so maybe he has been quite aggressive. But although it just doesn't feel like this is the hero for Certas, if that makes sense. Like, I used to see him absolutely dominate on Oogie and Bloodhunter and even Magebane, but it just doesn't seem like he's doing well. I don't know why I'm sort of giving him such a hard time, but I don't know. It just feels like, I don't know how you feel, but it doesn't feel his kind of hero, if that makes sense.
Exactly. No, you know, we're sitting here talking about the Bloodhunter, the Magebane, the Oogie, even. I mean, it's his kind of hero in the sense that it's somewhat aggressive. I don't know though. Yeah, it's not a farming hero.
It's weird.
It's not a hero that you're gonna farm on a whole lot and focus on farming. And this is not a short lane hero in general. I mean, it's let alone it'd be one if he was playing like a Dark Lady or something, or like a Flint Beastwood, or a short lane farming hero. That's just we never see.
Yeah.
But it's Sir Bensington. Whenever we see him, it's suicide, and it's just not using this role. So, yeah, but hell, is he actually going to go Rune Cleaver? I mean, is that a possibility because of this?
No, like if he's going to go Rune Cleaver, he's going to like skip the Steam Boots and the what's it called, the Iron Shield and the bottle. Like he's not going to have all this build up and then go for a farming item. If he's going to go for a farming item, he's going to go straight away. It doesn't make sense to have all this build up otherwise. So he's most likely going to pick up a Nullstone, and the Nullstone is good. Obviously, he's going against obviously the Swiftblade and the Doctor Repulsor, but at the same time, I think it's a little bit awkward. Maybe the Energizer would be a bit of a better pickup. Maybe the Brutalizer, but I guess he just feels the Nullstone is the right item choice.
Yeah, well, he is going to put some pressure in the middle tower. Maybe we do see actually there is a little bit of a fight being put up by WOP right here, as they're going to defend the middle lane, and yes, never mind. Swiftblade, by the way. How about that pickup?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Helm of the Black Legion coming out on Swiftblade. Another not your everyday item pickup.
Bottom lane.
What are we seeing here? Bottom lane indeed. We do have action coming out. Lowstone here already Shatterstorm. It goes off. Dr. Pulsar dropping the joust. No, what?
He tried to ulti, but he just lost vision as mid
ulti. Okay. And actually he's going in. Yeah, this is kind of curious right here. Now he still has the ultimate. Is he going to use it? I mean, what's going on? Okay, he's finally going to joust right there. Protective Melody does come out. Lowstone with a beautiful rocket drill. Hits them both. Gets the 1 kill. Gonna go for a second. You see the SSA coming out from Manbeth, but here comes Kraken. He releases all over the place. Just Slash is coming out of Swiftblade and gets the double tap. Torture gets caught. The Tempest ultimate, but that's not going to be too big because that's going to be the death of him most likely with that Tempest ultimate, as he's going to be chased down now. Swiftblade, no, he's not going to go any further. Maybe Empath thinking about it. Not going to be there. Oh, the wall up in the last second. Not going to be a kill still though. Magnus does in. The eruption goes off. Swiftblade is taking some good damage, but guess what? The Helm of the Black Legion keeping him alive. Torture goes down. Magnus now in a lot of trouble. He is going to be fine. Maybe. No, spin from Swiftblade. And Magnus does stun at the last second to get the distance he needed, and finally the fight's going to be over. Well,
so low.
Helm works, I guess.
Yeah, they all got so low, but yeah, like the one item picker that was MVP was definitely the Helm Black Legion. I mean, I was honestly questioning it. It makes no sense. It's so awkward, but I guess if he's taking these early fights, then I guess it can work really well. And that Helm Black Legion was definitely the reason why he survived there. And he's still got good farm as well, like 410 GPM. So clearly, Leroy knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Well. Big plays indeed for him. Portal key picked up by Kraken with that set after that whole fight takes place. So WOP definitely getting a bit of a starting to get some momentum going as far as the stats suggest. Even 2,600 gold lead, 2,900.
Oh wow!
Experience. What is that?
That's
yeah. Well, at the same time, Keizu is to thank for a lot of that. To be fair,
that is true.
Keizu of Sync Esports. So yeah, that's one of those. It's like maybe a little bit skewed because of that, but still, it is impressive nonetheless. To see that. So yeah, the Suicide Swiftblade, I mean, I think that's safe to say that's just another reason why that hero is just so powerful nowadays. Okay, 4 of those 9 games. But it's because not only is he just such a strong go-to carry hero, but he also can be played as far as a short lane, in a tri-lane, in a dual lane, in the top short, or the top Suicide, or Suicide in general, by himself. So yeah, he has very diverse potential in that sense too. Again, the Sustainer is still sitting on Sir Bensington here. Like I said, pretty much sure it's going to be a Nullstone, but still needs some more time. But yeah, that's not an impactful item. That's not a, oh, now he has the Nullstone, let's make something happen.
Yeah.
Now, a Portal Key on Magnus is that kind of item.
Yep.
And he's getting there at least. So buying some time for that.
Lane.
Oh, bottom lane, yeah, they're actually going to find a jump right here. Dr. Pulsar catches Lodestone in place. Kraken with the follow-up. They kept him locked down. Beautiful job by Doctor, actually, initially. And then bought the time for Kraken to port in. Empath goes inside and joins the party. That's just another strength of Empath right there. Gets free TPs. Jump inside and go elsewhere. So, but there's the portal kill Magnus. So that's the key, especially with this lineup and everything. It's like they need to start making things happen here.
And also, look, with the strategy they've got so strong team AoE synergy, and they really need the portal kill Magnus to sort of bring it all together. They can take these team fights and they can definitely win them, but they just obviously needed the initiation from Magnus. Actually, bottom lane.
Yeah, we're going to see an initiation right here. Lodestone, or excuse me, Sir Benson coming in with a Nightfall. They spread out pretty well right there, though. Staccato stunts used by Rhapsody to keep him in place. And Sir Benson very, cautious with that joust of his. We talked about the first game, how we played this hero too, and he missed several jousts, and I almost wonder if that's in his head to an extent. We've seen him constantly canceling that joust ability when he's going in for attempts. And, I mean, I'm not saying that was a bad move right there, but I feel like it's happening a lot more this game than last game.
No, I know what you mean. Like, you sometimes see it with Devourer, particularly like TMN, where people are so scared to miss him that they don't put him out. But like I think the quote you said before, you miss 100% of the hooks you don't even take in the first
Wayne
place.
Gretzky said that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't mean as in you, and I just thought you said it before.
Well, sure, I was original. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I was the one who said it. Like, that's what you need to say, Breaky. Just so yeah, I started all these questions. But yeah, and I think you're right though. Obviously, he missed quite a few in game one, and maybe that's getting to him. But at the same time, I mean, he third pick, actually middle lane.
Oh, he catches him in mid-joust right there. That was pretty epic, but the response coming over low on the shadow. Look at that! 0 damage because of the protective melting in the background. What was a beautiful wombo combo absolutely does nothing, and the Hellborn team's falling to pieces right here. Tempest is going to get picked off, it looks like. It's going to be a near genocide as Torture has to run away. So maybe not a near genocide, but 3 kills. What could have easily been a 1 fight for Dawn if it wasn't for Rhapsody pressing R in the background.
Man, that was such a big play coming out from the Forgotten there. I mean, if there's one hero that is so strong against the team fight AoE synergy, it is Rhapsody, and she couldn't have placed a better Rhapsody ulti than that. That was a definite reason why they won that team fight there. And now they're looking even stronger. They're going to take their tier 2 middle here. 7,000 experience up, 6,000 gold. Kraken's even setting up to try and take this Magnus here in the top lane as well.
Yeah, Magnus, he might be pushing a little bit too far for his benefit here. It looks like, no, he's going to be fine, though. You see Kraken kind of randomly trying to guess right there, but not going to be the case, and Magnus will at least escape with this life. A little bit of distraction in the process, but yeah, 19.5 minutes in right now. We do see it's the lead is just growing and growing for WOP. These guys, again, they qualify for Diamond here, finishing second in gold last cycle, and they're making a statement here against Dawn that they want to remain, and they deserve to move on. So they're giving them a run for their money, up 1 game to nothing already, and Dawn is definitely backs against the wall right here. I mean, this is that point of being, 0-0 is one thing, but now you're down 1-0. You know that you got to start coming back for a lot of reasons, among staying in the Diamond Division and going into the next at the very least. So Sir Benson going to be lead the way, push the bottom lane. He's going to be charged in though into the tower release. The Kraken comes out and Certes doesn't stand a chance. The portal key initiation on top of Dr. Pulsar way too strong. And he just simply falls before anything can react. So Icon of the Goddess charges starting to add up now for Doctor as well. That is never a good thing. 6 charges already. And it's going to keep going up and up, at least if they can't stop that, of course. So here comes the bottom push. This should be an easy tackle. Oh, Eruption means chill. This is a chance. A chance for a big fight. Eruption goes off. He doesn't stun Doctor, though. Let's go to the butt again. Protect him only. The Shadow Storm did nothing right there. He gets pulled in. He goes down. Joust does nothing. He completely whiffs right there. Kraken in the background. He does fall. Now that actually Nightfall is going to be coming out. Doctor, he had no mana left. He couldn't go anywhere. He's getting a little bit of regen, but it doesn't matter. So not the prettiest of fights, but actually Dawn is cleaning up a little bit right here, as they're going to dive, but will they dive too much? Magnus will. He ends up going down. Slow Slash is cut right through him. And now Tempest is low. Switchblade, he has Empath jump inside. He's looking for the chase. He knows that they can't do much right here. He's going to try to chase down Tempest. A couple auto attacks, maybe gets a crit. No, he did an auto attack Tempest right there. He got the crit, but he hit Bensington instead, and now he's in a little bit of trouble. Escalating going to heal him up, though, and that should be enough for surviving. In fact, he's going man mode. He's like, you know what? You guys are out of mana. I'm going to go for a kill right here. Tempest does have mana. He doesn't have an ultimate, though. That was big right there. We did see Switchblade trying to chase. Spin coming out. It doesn't matter. They get the kill on Tempest. And Sir Benson probably has the distance he needs
to get away. By Empath, though.
Yeah.
Actually, he might catch the Benson as well. Oh, he's going to chance away. But yeah, that tablet was actually really big. I mean, if that Torture hit that stun, they could definitely have turned it on their Swiftblade there, just with the lockdown they had from the Tempest and the Torturer. But massive tablet like that was actually a really, really big play. That it looked small, but in the end, it actually resulted into a big play, and they do catch Tempest in the end. But you still saw like the potential of Dawn and their strong AoE synergy. Like even though the Rhapsody did cancel out a lot of it, they still have the potential to win these teamfights, even though they're so far behind. So, although it's looking bad for Dawn, they're definitely not out of this game. They just really need to have their AoEs and their sort of almost really come together and make sure they stop that Rhapsody. That's a key thing they need to sort of focus on here, because twice their AoE sort of synergy and elements have been sort of nullified just by the Rhapsody. So, someone's got to be on Rhapsody duty and to really stop that the protective ability before it does too much work.
Yeah. Magnus right here, he's looking around. Obviously, they clean up the Ancients over there on their side, but yeah, Rhapsody, no doubt the MVP again. That was the first pick here on WOP side, and he usually is a first pick hero for that reason alone. The fact that he's the ultimate fight changer in the end. So it's obviously it's a reminder of the Jeremiah presence. Now Jeremiah every now and then will be kind of that niche pick. Every once in a while, I'll see do well, but the Soul's Blessing is one of the better counter turning around fights, but with the introduction of Rhapsody, I think the biggest difference is that, well, there's many differences, but simply the fact that she plays a lot more as she can be a babysit support, unlike, say, that Jeremiah. So,
yep. And that's what her makes her so strong, because I've talked about this before with you, I think, where sometimes like as your main support is normally a support that's very, very good in the laning phase, but doesn't really offer too much outside of that. But Rhapsody is so strong in the laning phase, yet still offers so much into the mid and late game as well because of that protective melody. And although she did get a slight nerf to her staccato, she's still such a strong support. And that's why we actually saw her first picked in this series, because this is the reason why she's so strong and why she's picked up so often. So, and also, I mean, obviously you've got to give good credit to the Forgotten. He's 1-0-6 actually. He hasn't died once, and for a 24-minute game, is actually quite impressive, to be fair. And he's obviously pulled out a lot of big plays on the protective melody. So yeah, he's been playing very, very well.
That he has been, but we're talking about the strong combo of heroes. Something like the Empath Swiftblade, a Rhapsody Swiftblade even, but you can't forget the Tempest Magnus. Obviously, the AoE synergy, the Wombo combo, and the stats going to back it up right there as far as what they can accomplish. So, I mean, team fight definitely still to be had here for Dawn, as far as getting that big initiation off. Again, it just keeps going back to though. It's just a matter of, can they stop that protective melody? Can they just take it? Either kill Rhapsody right off the bat or have a quick stun ready to go to silence or stop it initially. Because if you don't, it'll probably be the same result here. Yeah,
and I mean, one thing that can be obviously helpful is obviously the Tempest is picking up the portal key here. So if they can really catch the Rhapsody in the next team fight, that will be a massive win. Catch Rhapsody plus maybe two others, and that's a one team fight there for Dawn. Even though they're 9,000 gold behind, all the items that WOP has are going to be completely nullified if they're caught in the Tempest ultimate. So obviously, it all depends on the initiation and how well Dawn play in this next team fight is going to be the decision of whether they're going to take it to a game 3 or they're going to go home into gold division.
Now this is interesting. Some key items coming out here, and one is the fact that Sertis is just getting his Nullstone. Obviously, he's used a buyback and everything, but he's just getting his Nullstone now. It's 24.5 minutes in, so again, it'll be good to have, but it's definitely coming a lot later than he would have liked. But also a portal key, I believe, is picked up by Tempest right here.
Yep.
Going to be given to him, so that's kind of that all-in move of, we need a big ultimate, so here you go. Here's
I
a tool.
agree with it as well. Yeah, because obviously you must say, why hasn't he picked up the Astrolabe? But Astrolabe's only really good for pushing, and yeah, it does have some kind of team fight potential. But for the sort of strategy they're going for, the portal key is definitely the right item pick up here, and you never know, this could be the 5-man hold they're looking for.
That's what they're going to hope for. Port to the top lane, coming out right here. Different tower and vulnerability coming out off to the sides here. Benjington is here, but the Bound Eye Rhapsody is going to roam on through, and that will kind of scare them off in the background. Lowstone, he actually rocket drills, but the spin was already activated by Swiftblade. Shadows are going to be coming off as well. They're going in pretty early right here. Where's Rhapsody? She comes in, protecting melody going off his tablet immediately, so this time they stop it, but Tempest in the background is melted away as Dr. Repulsor jumped in right off the bat, gave him zero chance. Sir Benjington now the run with Torture, so, well, they accomplished stopping Rhapsody, but then the problem was they couldn't stop anybody else after that. So 25.5-minute victory in favor of WOP Dash, and they take game number 2, and that means they take the series and got to stay alive here in the losers bracket.
And you saw actually, I mean, it was a bit of bad in terms of Dawn, but actually really all played for WOP in just in that one team fight there, is because they actually did a great job really splitting Dawn apart. Obviously, Dawn are only really strong if they're all together, the AoE synergy, but they actually took the team fight in sort of split parts and really kind of disjointed. And as a result, they took that team fight very, very handedly there from WOP. Obviously, Dawn could have maybe had a bit better positioning, but in the end, obviously, WOP showing that they're too strong, and they just got promoted from Gold, and clearly showing that they want to stay in Diamond, and they're definitely going